Sure. My name is Linda Humphrey. I live in South Minneapolis. I grew up in a small rural farming community in central Minnesota. I graduated from St. Thomas with a degree in criminal justice and religious studies. I have a 22-year-old daughter who just graduated from Hamlin, and I work in medical technology by day. I have a little under 1,800, and all of them are Uber, except 103 are Lyft. The reason why I got into rideshare is pretty multifaceted. I wanted to help with my daughter's senior year at Hamlin. She was a senior last year. And I work from home at my day job, and it's very isolating. So it was a way for me to kind of feed that part of my personality to get out and be around people. The biggest challenge for me is getting my first ride in, is getting motivated to get out there. And then I find once I get my first ride, then I get addicted, and then I have no problem going. But that's it. And then the second biggest issue I have is the drunks. I get a little irritated with the drunks sometimes. And so those are my two big issues. I received $60. That's the biggest tip I ever received. And it was a really weird situation. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up and I couldn't sleep, and I just happened to turn my app on, and it was only 2 blocks from my house. So I threw my pants on like a fireman, and I went and picked this elderly couple up, and 2 people had canceled prior to them, and they were so grateful that they made their plane on time because they were going to the airport. So that's the biggest tip I ever got. And I tried to turn it away because I told her, no, we're neighbors, and she said, no, we're so grateful. So that was my biggest tip. St. Patrick's Day, I made $712. And I placed myself in the epicenter of crazy, which was downtown St. Paul. And I just kept going back to the epicenter, picking people up, and no pukers, if you can believe that. I prefer Uber because it's busier. Because I just do this part-time, my hours needed to be fruitful, so to speak. So, I wanted to be as busy as possible, and I think Uber has better surge pricing, higher prices when things are busy than Lyft does. So I think I make a lot more money on Uber. Fear. I think people are afraid to not accept trips. I think they're afraid to not cancel. But you don't have to be afraid of either of those things. You don't have to accept every ride. You don't have to be afraid to cancel for whatever reason. And I think people take rides that are too far away. So I think people need to find their right, minutes, their requests. That's the nice sweet spot for them, so that their shift is fruitful and productive. A lot of other drivers would probably disagree with me on this one, but never leave your house without a plan. I never drive without a plan. I check the schedule. I check all the event centers. I check what's going on. If there's nothing going on, I probably won't drive. So I never, ever drive without a plan. And me personally, I never take anything farther than 7 minutes away from myself. And I'm very picky about I think this is another thing. Don't be afraid to not take rides in a big surge, because other people are declining those rides as well. So if you see the surge is 3 or 4 and you're getting, a non-surge ride or a 1.2, just keep saying no until you finally get the one you want.